Sam,
Hey,
you are next.
great. Okay, so I'm just going to kick straight off into things if that's okay. So it's lovely to meet everybody. My name is Sam Moody. I'm the co-founder Feature Labs, which is all about kind of coaching and training, but I'm also the head of Agile for Read Online. And it's not my first management position. In fact, it's one of the few, and that's really where the importance of joy has come from for me. So it's the first thing that I notice when I start at a new company, and one of the things that I always put the most emphasis on. And the reason for that is really because of happiness, which begs the question, why am I not talking about happiness? Why am I talking about joy? Happiness for me is a transient state of being. So it's something that we experience as a range of emotions that lives within us, often for long periods of time, but sometimes very short. Whereas joy is that moment of spark that keeps happiness alive. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is about kindling those moments of joy in yourself and in the teams that you work with, something that's incredibly important as a leader and as somebody that's participating, particularly in agile teams, where there can be so much pressure to deliver. And we try and put so much emphasis on the importance of people. So some key facts on why I think joy is important. Well, it won't surprise you to know that a lot of the research now tells us that success is not a measure of how happy we'll be, but happiness is a measure of how successful we will be. So happier people are 40% more likely to get a promotion within 2 years of starting in a job. They're 31% more productive. They're around 25% or so more likely to form long-term relationships with co-workers in terms of happier working and more positive work environments. And what we experience when we're happy is this kind of wonderful state where we're able to connect at a really maximum level with our creativity, our ability, and the way that we communicate with each other. And that's something that's brought on by having these moments of joy. They're the little sparks that light us up. And in a workplace, it can be really hard to make space for joy. You know, when we think about celebrating, we often do it in a way that's based on praise. So we'll say to someone, that was a great job you did. Oh, I really liked that thing. You did really well there. It's actually a really negative way to give people joy, weirdly enough. Praise without purpose is quite a negative spiral. We're giving people the same kind of feedback that we wouldn't do now to children if we say, oh, to a little girl, oh, you're so pretty. Or to a little boy, oh, you're so clever. You're praising a trait. And actually that's a really negative way to spark joy. So one of the first things that I want to talk to you about is about how you share those moments. And that's not through praise, it's through purposeful feedback. So the most joy that we tend to receive and the things that really trigger that hippocampus response that lights up our brain is when we create a connection between a thing that someone has done and an outcome that it delivers. So rather than saying to somebody, hey, I really liked what you did in that presentation, you say to them, hey, I saw that presentation you did and I saw how positively people responded to it. That's a really great piece of feedback because now you've connected something that they've done actively with an outcome that they've achieved. That lives in them much longer as a more actionable moment of joy than simply saying, hey, great work. So that's one of the first takeaways I'd like to give you all to practice today. The second one is to understand and be curious about what sparks joy, both in yourself and in the teams and the people around you. When you see those moments of joy happen, investigate them. Treat them as an opportunity to really connect with people and to be really curious about them. And finally, that brings you into the last one, which is your social connectedness. So use those moments to form connections with the people around you and create this cycle of moments of sparking joy. So those moments that pass forward, that keep happiness bobbing along at a nice level and help keep us all there and creative. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be out of time because I was pretty careful in timing some of this out. So my last thing to leave you with is really to ask you two questions, and questions that I invite you to take away. when was the last time you felt joy at work? And what will you do tomorrow to experience that joy again? That's me. My time went off perfectly. Woohoo! Thank you.
Amazing. Well done. Very organized.